Yes, sir. And we back for another episode of 86. It's your boy Chef Vermin. How y'all doing today? Man, I'm doing well. See that pause as I was listening to y'all respond back how y'all was doing, but I'm doing well, man. Today's been a great day. I'm just here to deliver y'all another episode on this 86. Now, the last time we talked about the top 10 pros of working in the kitchen. And today is going to be the top 10 cons of working in the kitchen. So this one might be a little bit more sad, depressing, like hurtful. But a lot of the chefs, not a lot, all the chefs, I'm sure they can vouch for this list that I'm finna hit y'all with. So I hope y'all ready because we getting right into it. So the number one con on my list is long hours, unpredictable hours. Man, I can't begin to even talk about the number of fucking clopings I've done going in at 2 p.m. on Thursday, closing at 10, doing cleanup, getting out of there at 12 to reopen back up at 8, and I have a morning shift. Man, it's been plenty of times in management, because schedules get messed up, people get taken off, people call out. So naturally, the managers and the sous chefs are the ones to have to fill that void, which fucking sucks. Like, that sucks super bad. If you think you have one thing planned, then your chef calls you like, hey, I need you to come in 3 hours early tomorrow. And you like, damn, but I just got off. Yeah, we got to do what we got to do. Like, that shit sucks. That shit is terrible. That is a very, very bad way to go about that. You gotta do what you gotta do. We managers, so we have to be the one to assume all that responsibility. But that shit is terrible. One of my peers, my colleagues, his name is Jameson Holloway. Shout out to Jameson. Excuse me. He had a procedure done on his back. So he told me that, I had took him to the place, dropped him off. So he told me that, yeah, I might not be able to come to work tomorrow. But he was doing that work at like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. I was like, that's cool. Me at the time being a sous chef, I don't have any control over that kind of stuff. I was like still super new. I was like, just make sure you ask the chef, the executive chef. I ain't gonna say his name. And he was like, okay, cool. So he shot him a text before he got out the car. By the time he got to his front door, which was like 30 steps, time he got to his front door, I got a phone call from the chef. And I ain't answer it because you ain't finna call me on my day off. I'm good. Then I get a text message. Hey, Jameson called out. I need you to come in at 5 tomorrow instead of 7. I'm like, what? What? Like that right there, it moved me. And he would just kept texting me. Did you get my message? Can you confirm? Like, bro, stop texting me. Stop texting me. Like, don't you want to come in and do it, Mr. Executive Sous Chef? Don't you want to do that? But, the higher you get in a position, the more kind of delegation you can have amongst your staff. So, man, them hours, they unpredictable. Like, you never know. In my last job, when I was dining director, one of my staff, his sister had passed away, just like, I don't want to say abruptly, but she passed away, and he had to be out for about like 4 days. That falls on me. Now, instead of me doing a 9 to 7 or 9 to 5, now I'm doing a 6 to 7 for 4 days in a row. I'm making sure I'm doing prep too. Like, it's not a part of my job description, but it is a part of my like duties, because since this is my kitchen, I will have to make sure that my kitchen is run smoothly. And it's just, you never know. Like, you could try to plan stuff for weekends and weekdays and events, but unless something happened at work, they're gonna be expecting you to come in and get it handled, and that shit is trash. Like, I never, I understand that life is life, and people go through life things, and people handle things. They have to handle things, and work becomes like, work is put on the back burner. And I definitely agree. I've definitely been in that position before, but it's just on the other side of it, that shit does suck. Like, it's hardly any rest when you are an executive chef executive sous chef, a dining director, when you are above assistant manager, like it definitely is a lot of sacrifice you have to make when it comes to working. And the hours, that's why they put you on salary, because they know you're going to be here for 11 hours a day. And we don't want to pay you that because, that's too much. So we're just going to put you on salary until you tell you you're being compensated originally for the work because you make more than everybody. But salary is kind of iffy because sure, I make more than everybody. But if we're counting hours, if I'm working 100 hours a week, let's divide that by my salary. And you can see it's a lot less. And if somebody is an hourly, let's say they work 100 hours a week, their checks could be very, very close to my paychecks. So who is really the winner or loser when it comes to salary, when it comes to that? Like, who is really benefiting from that? So, man, them hours in the kitchen, they will definitely turn people off. Like, people calling out and you having to ask people on the line, like, hey, would you mind staying tonight? Like, that breaks people down. Like, people like, man, I don't want to stay. I've been here. Or people do it, but then they got attitudes. Like, those kind of situations can actually destroy a team and have people build resentment towards you. And I've seen it firsthand. The number 2 con is the kitchen is physically, mentally, emotionally, financially demanding. We'll get into the financial part a little later on this list. But physically demanding, you on your feet all day. Don't let you have any kind of health problems or pain problems because they just get amplified in the kitchen. For like 2 years, 2 or 3 years, I had a very bad limp on my foot. Now, I thought that it was a tear in my foot. Like I had a small tear in my foot. It was cool. And I remember going to the doctor initially before she told me, yeah, sometimes when you walk, it'd be small tears in your foot since you are flat-footed. So you got to wear proper shoes and all that. That didn't help for shit. It didn't help at all. Like, at all. And I will wear 2 pairs of socks. I'll wrap an ace band around my foot. I'll pop like 5, 6 ibuprofen a day just for the swelling and the pain so I can go to work. And when I finally had the time to get it rectified, it wasn't no tear. It was a soft corn on my foot, which is, I never heard of soft corns. I always thought corns was going to be like hard. Nope. I put my body in a lot of physical pain just to go to work. Mentally, you doing something wrong or, you may mess up. Managers and higher ups can kind of, have it out for you in a sense. Like they can kind of like, is this the right person for the job? Like, even though we hired this person, we have confidence in them. Is he the right person for the job? So they can, it's always a business. Like it's always, they're always trying to quote unquote better their organization or their establishment. So they're always asking those questions. Like if this person is not meeting the cut, it's never what can we do to help them get there? Most of the time it is this person the right fit for us? And if not, we have to let them go. Who wants to be involved in it? Like who wants to think that? Who wants to be at a job where you maybe mess up 1 or 2, you have a couple of bad days in your job, you feel like your job is in jeopardy? That's not safe. That's kind of toxic in my opinion. And that's very, very mentally straining. That could put strains on your life, your relationships, like you physically, like you can develop bad habits because of those thoughts like that. And people don't know. Like people get fired for way less. Like you can be a very opinionated person in the kitchen and always very quick to speak your mind and not in a disrespectful manner, in a professional manner. And people seem as you being rebellious or you being defiant and then you out of a job. Physically and mentally, emotionally demanding. The third con working in the kitchen is pride and ego. Pride and ego destroys any team you are a part of. Any team. People don't put their pride to the side. People bring their egos with them. People feel like, let's give an example, especially older people, like older chefs, people in the industry. They feel like they know how to do things. They don't want to take direction well. So when you're giving them direction or giving them like something to do and they are upset, their pride and ego is hurt. they may go spread gossip to somebody else, like, why this motherfucker over here telling me what to do? Like, I know what to do. And people have influence over people. Like, people that maybe don't speak up as much, or they're just like, I don't want to say followers, but are in like a certain like crowd of people, or a certain clique. That's a good word. A certain clique of people, like they creates to build resentment amongst other people, and misery loves company. So me spreading those rumors, me talking about this and that, this person and that person, I want them to feel the same way I feel about this person. And what does that do? Give false, what's the word I'm looking for? Give like a false depiction of a person, and it doesn't even allow the person to make their own judgments. Now we're just creating this disconnect between our team for things that can be communicated effectively. Not a lot of people have good communication skills in the kitchen. You know, people want to argue and yell and encourage, but people hardly can sit down and have like an adult ass conversation and leave it all on the table. People hardly can do that, and that's okay. Those only certain people, but this is one of the things that is the worst about working in kitchens. The number 4 con is benefits. Nowadays it's gotten better depending on where you're working, but a lot of places don't offer benefits. They don't offer health insurance, dental, vision, children insurance, 401k. A lot of places don't offer that. They just come in, work, and go home. The reason for that is because a lot of restaurants and food and culinary establishments don't tend to pay you a lot. They tend to pay you, a couple dollars below, not minimum wage, or below like what you should be making to survive. So they can't afford to give you benefits. Some places, they do give you benefits. It may just be health insurance, dental, vision, but they're not offering no 401k. They're not offering anything else of that nature to kind of incentivize you to stay at that place. The number 5 con is injuries. Now listen, we in the kitchen. We got knives, pans, water, fire, gas, electric, people. I guess too many variables in the kitchen where things can go wrong. I've seen fryers catch on fire. I've seen tables fall. I've seen people get hit with stuff. I've seen people get hit with pans. I've seen people cut their fingers off, like cut pieces of their finger, like cut themselves badly. Like, injuries are a part of the culinary life, and it's tragic, but it also falls on people's knowledge and training, and people's what's the word? I don't want to say ignorance, but it's more so like their awareness. Yeah, their awareness. Like, they always tell you should carry a knife with the blade facing like up towards your arm and on your side. Some people just carry knives by the handle, just walking around with knives. Like, some people don't care about those things, and that causes other people to get hurt. Other people to have crazy burns, like somebody could be cooking a meal in a saute pan, take the pan and swing it, and now you're burning somebody all on their arm. When they got kind of 3rd-degree burns, 2nd-degree burns, like, you never know what can happen in the kitchen. But you don't want to have no fucking injuries. Like, that's not cool. Like, you don't want to be the result of somebody's ignorance or miscommunication or lack of knowledge of how to properly maneuver around certain stuff. That's why words like heard, behind, swinging are very important. Because if I just turn around without saying swinging, I got a fat ass pot in my hand, and the pot got like boiling grits in it, and they spill on you, trust me, you finna lose some skin. You will be upset. I've seen, even in culinary school, I've seen people like cut their fingers off and have to go to the hospital and get stitches. When I was 19, at the same place, RBG Bar and Grill, I'm on the mandolin. The mandolin is like, it's a machine where you can make like thin julienne slices of whatever vegetables You can do like batanes on there. You can do like chips on there, like very thin slices. So I'm on the mandolin going crazy. And they always tell you, like, watch what you're doing. So I'm slicing zucchini. And I remember somebody called me and I turned my head and I looked and I was like, ouch. And I tell you, a whole corner of my thumb was missing, like the whole corner. So injuries happen to everybody. But you got to be aware, you got to be knowledgeable what you're using and how to use it. And if you don't know how to use it, ask for help. Don't be the asshole who just think they know everything. Ask for help. Or you're gonna be like me, lose a piece of your thumb. And I was out for 3 days because of that. And even during those 3 days, I wanted to go back to work because I felt like I let my team down. And I felt like this injury could be worked through. And that's one thing. We tend to downplay all of our injuries in the culinary field. We tend to just forget them. Oh, they never happened. Oh, it's okay. I can work through that. Like that. No, that's bad. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself first. What's this? Number 6. The number 6 kind of working in the kitchen is the environments can be chaotic. Super, super, super chaotic. Super, super, super toxic. Super, super unfulfilling. Sometimes you're just going to a job and people are there to just work. People aren't there to like push the envelope. People aren't there to iron sharpens iron. People are there to just work, and it shows in the food quality. I watch people ask me for, like, let's say during the hiring process, ask me for like $22 an hour. But then when you watch them work, you're like, what are you doing? Why are you burning this and that and serving it? Why do you think it's okay to have this amount or have this short portion to have this person have a full portion? Why is this burnt? Why is this doesn't have the right seasonings? And people just don't care. People are like, it's a job. I'm just cooking this, whatever. Like, they're gonna eat it. Like that's the wrong mindset to have when you're in this industry. Because if it's always like that, you're never gonna have success. Like, you'll never elevate yourself to work in a place where the environment is elevated because this is what you allow yourself to do. So that's never a good thing. A bad environment can definitely be detrimental to chefs and up-and-coming young chefs because they think that that is normal. And when they get into a very healthy environment, they have to break a lot of bad habits and a lot of things that they aren't used to doing. And that's harder than not starting those habits in the first place. The number 7 con is the pay is trash. I kind of touched on that a little bit, like the financially demanding, but the pay is trash. The industry is competitive in the sense, well, and this is not to downplay any kind of establishment, but if Waffle House is paying me $20 an hour to be like an egg cook, just cook eggs all day, and I got this restaurant, let's say Saints and Council, because the first thing that came to my mind, shout out to Chef Chelsea, Saints and Council paying you $20, and I know that Waffle House is a little bit more, the food isn't as not cohesive, it isn't as like elevated, the food isn't as like, the thought process, isn't with that. It's just like breakfast, eggs, waffles, grits, whatever. Whereas somewhere at Saints and Council, you might got, like she says, I think she had the crab toast. So you gotta make crab mix, you gotta do the toast, you gotta do the spreads, like the composure. You go, like, dishes aren't composed, meals aren't composed. It's a lot easier. So people are like, why would I go work here and I can work here and make money and it's easy? Then that leads you to a short of quality cooks. Now you're bringing in somebody who should just be like entry level, should be starting off at like $16, $17 an hour, but they're like, hey, I want $20 an hour because that's what the market is. And then when you get them in your restaurant, you had to do a lot more training and honing and correcting with them because they aren't hip to that. They aren't used to that. They haven't developed that. And a lot of restaurants nowadays, they don't want to develop cooks. They want to train you and to show you how things go, but they don't want to spend weeks and months and time with you, making sure you know how to saute your fish, making sure you know how to fabricate meat, making sure you know how to cook a chicken, making sure you know how to make risotto. Like, the restaurant's not wasting that much time on you. Like with the rising prices of like food and everything else, like they don't have time for that, which is like a double-edged sword because you get what you put out and you get what you bring in. But I know me when I was younger, or even I'm not saying that nowadays, after being in all these kind of like different places, if I had the option to work somewhere where it wasn't as composed of meals, but I was still able to like be in a healthy environment than somewhere where it's super composed and I'm doing a crazy amount of cooking and crazy amount of dishes, like I would probably make the choice of where it's a little easier, especially with my life now. Because the mindset is, are we working, we're working harder for the same amount of money. If it was a difference in pay, it's a different story. But we're working as hard as the same amount of money. Number 8 con is the lack of creativity. Now, you go to a kitchen, I'm a young chef and I have all these ideas, I've been in the kitchen for about 3 weeks now. I want to do something, I want to do this, blah, 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 and the kitchen doesn't allow it. Like that's going to make me feel stagnant. It's going to make me feel like you guys are okay with just serving this food, you don't want to try anything different. Some restaurants are set that way to, like be stagnant, to not be able to have any flexibility because of whatever reasons. And certain chefs get caught in that loop, like where I'm just here, I can't do anything else, this is all I can do. Like the lack of creativity, if you don't exercise that muscle, you lose it. Like that muscle tends to deteriorate. You tend to lose that creativity. You lose that drive, lose that motivation. So being somewhere where you're able to flex your skills and showcase what you think is very, very vital. The number 9 con, displease customers. Now, displease customers can be a slight pro because they always can let you know like, hey, this is not good. I didn't enjoy this for whatever reasons. This is why, boom, 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 boom. But when it comes to customers being like disrespectful, ignorant, sometimes I see customers even being blatant racist to staff, like that doesn't make an environment fun. That makes the environment very unhealthy. It makes staff feel like they have to walk on eggshells. It feels like they have to be cautious with things they do. And customers can be very, very fucking nasty. Like they can say some crazy shit. Like I know the saying is the customer's always right, but the customer is not always right. I'm sorry. The customer is not always right. Sometimes people want to be right so they can get something out of your establishment. They want to complain so they can get something extra or something free. So some people look for those things. And those can be the days where like those days really, really bring you down and really, really affect you mentally. Because nobody should deal with that. Nobody should be on the front lines and people are just blatantly disrespecting them. Like you don't know the half of the conversations that I've had in the office with people who are just pouring their emotions out to me because of what customers said or what residents have said to them. Like that shit is hurtful and that shit sucks. And it makes you not want to serve people. It makes you want to tell people to go the fuck home or go the fuck upstairs. And there's nothing wrong with that. Now, the top 10 con, our final con, we kind of touched on this a little bit, but the very competitive industry. It's no reason for me or anybody to be like, I'm going to go work at a Michelin star restaurant when they're paying $19, $20 an hour. And I can work at Waffle House, they pay me $20, $21 an hour. Now it's very money driven, which is fair because, everything has gone up like 1,000,000,000%. But now, you're losing a lot of quality people. And nowadays, it's just about getting bodies, like bodies. No Pete Davidson. It's just about getting bodies in the kitchen so we can have enough bodies. And then we figure out what to do next with them. So that showcases in your food, your service, your establishment, your environment. Because when you bring the wrong person in, it can destroy you from the inside out. And then you're wondering why all the good people are upset. They're resenting you. They want to find new jobs because look at the environment they're a part of. Look at the things they had to deal with. You don't want to be that kind of. I'm sorry. You don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to be in that situation. You don't want to have to make those kind of choices. So, that's all 10. I thought it was gonna be way longer than that. But those are my 10 cons of working in the kitchen. If y'all got some cons, if y'all got some pros, make sure to drop them in the comment section. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Check out King's Coffee on King's Coffee, at King's Coffee on YouTube. It's gonna be at King's Coffee Podcast on Instagram, on TikTok. Make sure you check out all those videos because me and Tyrone Smith, we coming hard with the King's Coffee. Thank y'all for tuning in to 86. I appreciate y'all. I couldn't do this without y'all. I appreciate all the love, all the support, all the people here reaching out to me saying they want to come on the pod. You know, we gonna get it done. I know we adults, we gotta worry about scheduling, but it's gonna get done, man. So thank you, man. I can't give y'all enough thanks, but I appreciate everybody that tunes in. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.